been a while since our last tier list, and the meta has changed quite a bit, so let's get right into it with this hero tier list for solos. First off, we have Akos, taking a spot in the A tier. Akos has been consistent in solos since his release, but recent nerfs, combined with the release of Hadi and buffs to Feria, have seen Akos struggling to maintain a dominant spot in the current meta. He's still a solid pick, but has trouble dealing with some of the other strong heroes. His first skill is still preferred by almost every Akos for the damage reduction, and his second ultimate gives him the most value in solos through the self-healing and single-target displacement that can be confirmed in combo. His bounce attacks are exceptionally dangerous, but a well-timed dodge on an overly aggressive Akos is sometimes all it takes to defeat him. Next up is Feria, taking our first spot in the S tier today. Feria recently got some huge buffs to her mech, making it much more responsive and more defensive. Feria has always been on the cusp of greatness, but her current state is a realization of that potential. Feria is probably the strongest character in Realm of Yang, and also a strong contender in a small final circle. Her defensive first skill is easily one of the best skills in the game since it can provide so much peel, utility, and spacing. Her third ultimate is also very strong considering it can set up extra confirmed damage before getting in the mech and easily controlling the fight. Hadi is the newest addition to the roster, and this character is so strong in solos, it's kind of ridiculous. He takes the top spot of S tier. Hadi's extremely oppressive with easy access to a gold-focused fire damage attack in second ultimate, and incredibly safe with his second skill, which is almost guaranteed to get him plenty of distance from his enemies while protecting his movement with blue focus. It can be easy to dodge a Hadi who is releasing charge stage 3 on repeat, but a Hadi that holds his attacks unpredictably can be next to impossible to deal with. This character consistently counters nearly everyone else in the game, and being able to fly around while dodging, healing, and dealing tons of damage is greatly rewarding for low-risk behavior. Next we have Justina, going into the B tier. The developers really like Justina. They always buff her to like the perfect spot whenever power creep starts setting in from other characters, so expect this to happen sometime soon because it almost always does. Most Justinas use second skill for the combo breakout, and first ultimate has been in a great spot since its last buff, though any of Justina's ultimates are usable in solos. A great Justina can be amazing, but a bad Justina can be nearly useless. This character just has a really high skill ceiling. Kurumi will be going into the C tier. Kurumi has recently received some good buffs that increase her survivability in solos, but they haven't given the support character the kind of tools that would allow her to be successful in solos against the current meta. If you win in solos with this character, it's probably because you were better than your opponents and accurately predicted their skills and ultimates to deny value while healing yourself through your mistakes. It's just not easy to do that, and many other characters make it much easier to win fights. Most solo Kurumis take third or first skill and third or first ultimate. Then we have Matari, who will place in the C tier. Matari's placement has been slowly falling for a long time, without any substantial buffs or reworks to keep this character viable. In solos, Matari's ultimate can be useful for quickly closing out a fight or countering a Viper ultimate. However, it only lasts up to 12 to 16 seconds, and in solos, most other ultimates last 20 to 30 seconds, making pacing this ultimate extremely difficult. The backstab attack can be dodged, and the best part of invisibility is just that it breaks your opponent's melee aim assist. Matari will usually have second skill and third ultimate in solos. Takeda belongs in the A tier. With third skill and first ultimate, Takeda can be very hard to deal with in solos for much of the cast. His abilities allow him to dominate neutral, heal himself, set up infinite combos, and effectively space or reset if needed. This character is a popular pick for being able to deal with other dominant characters like Hadi, Feria, and Temulch. Fighting an ulted Takeda is dangerous because he can throw out a demon at any time to guarantee more damage. It's best to just run away from him and try to bait him into throwing a demon that you're ready to dodge if he gets too close. Next up is Tarka, going into the A tier. Tarka may not see as much play as he used to, but when he does get played, he tends to do very well. He just struggles against some of the top characters right now. Despite this, Tarka is still very popular and a menace in solos with his 32-second ultimate that gives him easy access to fire damage and infinite combos, increased mobility, immunity to grapple stun and range damage, dodging out of getting parried, pressuring neutral with fire punch, and so on. This character can be incredibly annoying to fight, and anyone saying he isn't good anymore is gaslighting you. Temulch is next, and he will actually be taking our top spot in the A tier. Temulch is in a very good spot right now, as he can effectively deal with just about any character on the roster. His skills are all both defensive and offensive, and his ultimate charges faster than almost all other ultimates in the game. His third ultimate gives him offensive charges of his skill, and can be used to shut down anyone unfortunate enough to be caught in it. Then we have Tessa going into the B tier. Tessa's a decent solos pick, though she lacks versatility and is mostly effective as a third partier. Her defensive first skill is insanely good, but her ultimate is easily dodgeable. However, hitting her first ultimate on someone in solos can easily mean the end of their life when they get enchanted, or the enchant from the second ultimate can give Tessa a substantial heal while still providing enough hit stun for her to win neutral and potentially the fight. Tianhai is F tier. Monk is easily the worst character in solos, with his ultimate applying little to no pressure to most characters in most situations, while making him an easy target for the lobby. I'd recommend playing any other character in solos. Moving on, we have the biggest change in placement from our last tier list, with Valda going from the top of S tier down to the bottom of B tier. Valda received multiple rounds of nerfs to her second ultimate over the few weeks following our last tier list. These included changes that reduced her total number of water spears from 4 to 3, changing the throwing animation to be more reactable, adding a 3-second cooldown between throwing water spears, adding a 3-second cooldown to the enemy being affected by water spears, reducing the total time of the ultimate from 30 seconds to 20 seconds, and then further reducing the time in solos to a mere 15 seconds. The ultimate gives no mobility, no fire damage, can't be cancelled to save rage, can't have its duration extended by Soul Bloom, gives no damage reduction or stagger protection, and no self-healing. All the best ultimates in the game do a combination of some or all of these things. Valda's second ultimate is easily countered by simply dodging water spears on reaction and running away for 15 seconds. Valda's first ultimate is arguably better now, even in solos, since it can be guaranteed to provide value by confirming in combo, and can confirm a kill from as much as 600 HP with little to no counterplay. Her third skill is usually preferred, but first skill is also viable. Viper is up next, also going into the B tier. Viper is a character that can be played a few different ways, with all 3 skills being viable in solos. Most Vipers will use second or third skill and third ultimate. This character can easily shut down many characters, but also can be easily shut down by many others. Alright, next, Wuchen will be going in the C tier. Wuchen is probably the least popular solo character pick, and for good reason. While he's not terrible, he's really not great, and his abilities lack any real pressure onto an opponent. His second ultimate is usually preferred, and all his skills are equally mid. I think the main reason people pick Wuchen in solos is just because they like the character. Then we have Yoto, who will place at the top of C tier. Yoto's balance hasn't been adjusted in a while, and power creep has seen her fall behind the meta, especially in the solo scene. All of her skills are quite good, despite their long cooldowns, but her ultimate is really what holds her back in solos. It just doesn't provide the kind of versatility that the current meta demands, and Yoto will struggle with many matchups while having a harder time getting in and out of fights as effectively as many other characters. Third ultimate is preferred for its extra time and damage. Yueshan is also in the C tier. His defensive first skill and first ultimate are almost always preferred because hitting someone with skewer in solos means they are very low, if not dead. Yueshan's ultimate can be scary in the right hands, but an inexperienced Yueshan can be easily embarrassed. This character's skill ceiling is pretty high as well, but even his maximum potential is wasted in solo mode, and he will almost always have a hard time dealing with the other characters' ultimates. Next up is Zai, and she will go into the A tier. Zai feels pretty strong right now with access to highly effective mechanics that have a fair amount of counterplay. She can be oppressive at low ranks and can easily disrupt an entire situation on her own with a wide area of fire damage from her second ultimate. Her skill cooldown resets whenever she activates ultimate, so with first skill she can basically have 2 defensive skills in a row, making winning neutral against Zai not only tough, but also not very rewarding. Finally, we have Zaping, and it should be no surprise that she belongs in the S tier. Zaping is insanely good at healing herself and can stay alive through thousands of damage. Her first skill provides the most healing, while second skill gives a buff that prevents light attack and grapple stagger. Both are good picks. Her first ultimate saves her life automatically when charged, and her second ultimate heals her over time and saves her life only when it's healing her, and again, both are good picks. When playing Zaping, it's important to pace your fights, relying on your skill to out-sustain your enemies, and utilizing her ultimate to get you out of unfavorable situations. The worst thing for Zaping to face is fire damage because burning cuts all healing in half, so Zai, Tarka, and especially Hadi are all tough matchups for Zaping. If you agree with this list, feel free to like the video and subscribe for more tier lists like this. Let me know in the comments what you think about these placements. I know the balancing in this game is crazy, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.